Morning all, Angus Campbell here, Friday the 26th of July, and here we are at Cadwell Park today for the annual Beezumph rally, Trident and Rocket 3 Owners Club. So take some videos today. You can hear the bikes in the background on one of the track sessions, looking around at some of the bikes and exploring the beautiful Cadwell Park, where I used to marshal regularly in my youth, so I know it well. So hope you enjoy. Thanks everyone. Right, so here we are, Cadwell Park, Beezumph Rally 2019. This is, can't remember which Beezumph this is, 28 I think it is. There's the merchandising stroke club tent for the Trident and Rocket 3 Owners Club. We're in the one of the areas of the Paddock at the moment, and as you can see, triples all over the place, Rocket 3s, Hurricanes, which we'll see in a minute, Tridents, Rob Norths. So this is the part of the Paddock area. The track is in the dip, the other side of those trees, where these bikes are going down to now for the track sessions, because Beezumph is a track day. You've got some display bikes over there, and then the big green areas at the top here for more paddock, camping, and then the Trident Rocket 3 Owners Club displays, etc., and marquee are over in the top far corner, so we'll go over there later on. But we'll just go down this line here and get a bit of film of some of these bikes, some of the people that I know from my days. I haven't got a bike here today. I was too late registering for the track day with the Rocket 3, so I've just driven here for the day. But the weather's good. There's more people here than I expected, so we'll get some, hopefully some reasonable videos of some of the bikes here and some of the action on the track during the day. I'll bring you back shortly. Right, so what I'll do is, this is just one small area of the paddock and the field where the bikes are. The club have got Cadwell, they had it yesterday and today, but they've got to vacate tonight for a big motoring meet here over the weekend at Cadwell. Quite a big car meeting, I think. But let me just take you down this as an example of one of the roads in the paddock. So start off with, we've got Rocket 3, T160 Trident, Rob North, BSA, flat tracker style, Trident, Rocket 3, X-Works Rocket 3, T160, a couple of Hurricanes, T160.
I forgot, I did have noise tested and I was going round for about 4 laps.
Matchless. G45, probably. I'm sure that's a twin. We'll come back to that and find out what that is. Not sure what that is. This one yours, boss? That one yours?
It's not actually my own one, no.
Is it a G45?
Yeah.
Right. Thank you. 650 twin?
Hey.
G45?
650 twin.
Yeah. 650 twin. You and me both. Nice to see it though, nice bike.
Out of 80 made, there's only about 40 in existence.
Bloody lovely.
So it's a rare thing.
Absolutely, yeah. Very nice. Thank you. Okay, never seen that. G45. We'll come back to that and see if we can find the owner. Rob North Rocket 3. T150. Just look at this stuff. Stuff everywhere. There's the journalist Mick Duckworth. Hi Mick. Rob North T150.
Operating under data protection rules there.
Yeah, public place. Would you like? Is it a Sealy? Is it?
Suzuki.
But a Sealy frame?
It's certainly a Sealy type frame.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Nice to see you, Mick. Anyway,
Yeah. How you keep
this
going?
might go on YouTube. Do I have your consent, or
Yeah,
would you prefer that I strip you out?
No, that's
Okay.
no problem.
Okay. No. I know. I work in IT, so you can imagine the
Yeah.
personal data and stuff. I work in healthcare, so I have it all the time with GDPR.
I have to restrain my stepdaughter from putting my pictures on Facebook.
Oh,
They go, there is a limit to how many I do free.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cheers, Mick. So that was journalist Mick Duckworth, who writes regularly for motorcycle magazines, has done all his life. He's a good supporter of Beezumph, and these days does get involved, I'm sure, in writing articles for the classic magazines too, but still very much in the circles. Always been a fervent supporter of this, and was good enough in previous events to interview certain stars, etc., that attend the event. There are some here today, ex-factory, ex-racers, T140, and some years ago there was a huge Beezumph meet where we got some of the ex-USA factory riders from the States. Gene Romero was here, Dave Aldana. I'll try and dig out some photos of that. T100 flat tracker. Right, and there we are. That's just one road of the Paddock and some of the interesting bikes that I've got here. So as we go through the day, we'll take some more snaps and some of the track sessions too, and anything interesting we come across. There is a display up at the Beezumph camping area by the club, which includes the first prototype Triumph Trident. So we'll have a mosey on up there in a little bit, and I'll take some footage from there. Okay, see you in a bit. So back up the top end of the same lane, back to one of the first T150s, and I didn't realise it. This belongs to one of my followers, Matt. There he is, lives not far from me, East Midlands. Ridden here today. 98 miles, did you say, Matt? 90 miles. Nice looking bike in black with the white scallops. What year is it, Matt?
71.
71, not grey frame, but 71. We like that. And Matt's also got a Rob North on being built, and also a T160.
Yeah.
So he's another idiot like us. But good to see it here. I'm going to be ridden home tonight. Can't see any oil, just a bit of spray off the road, proves it's ridden. Looking good. Thanks, Matt. So another quick view from the centre of activity. We've got bikes coming up from the last track session and going down for the next track session. We've been up and down that road there, and next to the merchandising tent. What we're going to do now is just spin round and go up the field and go through this area up to the top corner. You might be able to see the Beezumph market in the background there. Just near there, there's a bit of display. We'll nip up there, walk through this lot now. See you there in a bit. Just a quick one. That gent there pushing the BSA is Steve Brown. Steve is an ex-BSA factory man. Knows BSA Furies very well. Also a triple man and has got some ex-work stuff, I believe, but always supports these events and still a fervent and very active BSA biker. Right, just walking up to the Beezumph area now. Right up at the Beezumph marquee at the top end of the Cadwell site, and all quiet here now because activities will really kick off this evening when there's a barbecue and band, etc. I'm not going to be here for that, but a bit quiet at the moment. But just in the general sort of camping area for Beezumph, come across an early T150 in its aquamarine, slated in the day for the styling, but actually now these are quite sought after in their original colours, with the original side panel and the sort of aluminium, I believe it's an aluminium based badge on there with Trident, but anyway, they look more attractive these days, and this one obviously nicely used and ridden here today. Good to see it. And behind that, Mark 1 Rocket 3 2, again resplendent in its original guise, front mudguard, seat, etc. Silencers, that's pretty much original, also with the design flares on the end of the oil cooler, all original for the Rocket 3, which you didn't get on the Trident there. So yeah, a few bits and pieces to distinguish the Trident and the Rocket 3, obviously the most notable being the canted forward cylinder on the Rocket 3 and the upright cylinder on the T150. So lots of badge engineering really to try and keep the brands distinct. Got a nice Norton over here, but we're just going to go to the top corner there now, which I believe is a display by the London Motorcycle Museum, and standing outside I can see there is the P1 original prototype Trident, so let's have a look at that. Right, so here we go, the Triumph P1, which is the first Trident prototype owned and restored by the Trident Rocket 3 Owners Club. Here's the history board, and down the bottom there is an early photo from when the bike was completed. Doug Heel, one of the original designers and head of the experimental shop at Ridden for years, is stood there with his hand on the headlight, and to our right and Doug Heel's left is Steve Brown, and that was the same Steve Brown that we saw a little earlier pushing a Rocket 3 from behind. Fortunately, the Jack Shemmons is in that, Bill Fannin I think, a number of ex-factory personnel, some of whom, like Doug Heel etc., unfortunately no longer with us. Anyway, the P1's here and in one piece, and does run. I've seen it taken around the track, and you can see very much in the style of a twin at the time, because I think this is essentially a Bonneville rolling chassis, and then a very early, well, the first Trident motor looks a bit different from, a little different from ultimately the production design, but not far off, as you can see. Exhaust system design totally different, parallel track monoblocks at the back, and then if we look at the other side, so you're getting towards the classic design and not far off. Major difference here really is the rocker box design, very much taken from the twins, if you like, a 1.5 of the twins, and they were redesigned to make them look more of a one-piece unit before the bike came into production. So yeah, this is the P1 Project 1, and I think this was the beginning of the P designations for projects. So obviously when we went up until this was, when is this, 1965-ish I think. Let me just check on the board. Yeah, 1965, P1. By the time we got round to the Fury prototypes in 69-70, that's P30, and some of the other bikes for sort of 72, 73, P40, I think. But anyway, yeah, P for like prototypes or project. I'm not sure, but I think this is the first of the P projects. Interesting bike. I'm not sure if it's going to run today, but I have seen it running and going around the Cadwell track here. And displayed today, because it's in the custodianship on behalf of the club, by the London Motorcycle Museum, who've got a few other bikes on display as well. Not quite sure what that is, and there's no board with it. Obviously a side valve twin. Doesn't look like the Triumph, so I'm not sure. This is most definitely a BSA unit, presumably 650 A65. And over here, we've got the Triumph Ricardo 1926. Complete with donation box. We'll put some in there. Okay, and then we go round. There's the P1, and we're right at the top of the circuit now in the field, so we'll walk back down, and a little later on we'll get a bit of the track action. But plenty going on here, well attended as usual, and it's good that this is, for me anyway, it's good that it's back at Cadwell, because I know this place well. I used to marshal here in my youth. I'm a Lincolnshire lad, and the previous few years off and on it's been at circuit over at Anglesey, but the Beezumph originated here at Cadwell, and of the 28-29 Beezumphs, I would think 23-24 of those have been here at Cadwell. Originally as one-day events, but most of the recent ones have been big 2-day events, and very worthwhile while attending. And I think it's for any bike pre-84, 83, something like that, British bike. I'm not sure if it's just British now, but anyway, we're looking at classics. If you fancy taking your bike round a really pretty historic circuit, we'll do a bit of tour of that later, then bring it here. Beautiful circuit. Right, I'll bring you back a little bit later on with some track action, and try and do you a bit of a tour of the track too, against one of the map boards. Right, there's the Cadwell Park full venue map. 2.4 mile full circuit. It used to be organised into, now then, where's my finger? This side of it here used to be the club circuit, and there used to be a link just there in the circuit that allowed you to use that area as the club circuit, and it used to have a start and finish area there. And this end of the circuit used to be the woodland circuit, and they could use both separately, which they don't anymore. It's all now just one circuit. Very up and down, lots of curves, lots of adverse camber. Just around about there, at the top of my nail, is Cadwell's famous mountain. So we'll have a look at that from one side a bit later on. Currently, where I'm positioned is just above the collection circuit. The area that I was filming from earlier was just up there, in that area there. The Beezumph tent is over in that top corner there, excuse my fat finger. So there we go, it's the Beezumph tent up there. We're just about here at the moment. Yeah, just around about there. Main paddock area here. collection point is down here, and just about there is where they go on and off the circuit from the collection point, and you can hear them down the bottom there. You can just see the collection area there where they're beginning to congregate for the next track session. So there we are. You can walk all the way around the circuit, 2.4 miles. Lots of green area, woodland area, great place for camping for a weekend in general, especially when the weather's like this. But yeah, so let me put a finger. So yeah, that area there is the old club circuit, woodland circuit. All bends, main straight, start finishes here. Charlie's, Chris Curve, Park Straight, Park Corner, round Gooseneck here, down to Mansfield, and then the mountains there, Paddock Straight, All Bends, Hairpin, Barn Corner. There we go, that's my memory. Okay, that's Cadwell Park. Beautiful circuit if you've not been here before, near Louth in Lincolnshire, bit of a trek for some of us, but very picturesque. Okay, we're up near the collection point, so we're looking at this is the Paddock Straight, and also the point at which the bikes join the circuit from the collection area. One just waiting there. Paddock Straight, and that goes into All Bends, and then goes through a series of bends and through the woods, and down the bottom there you can see the main straight where they go up to the top end of the circuit, top there, and loop all the way back down. And on this Paddock Straight here, when they come into view, they're coming up the Cadwell's mountain, and we'll get a view of that mountain from the other side a little later on. You can see them coming over the brow and onto this straight here, through All Bends, onto the Hairpin, round Van Corner, through the other side of those woods and down to the main straight at the bottom there, and going back up to the circuit, top end of the circuit. Right, next up, mountain. Okay, so here we are, looking at the mountain from the other end of the Paddock Straight. Doesn't look too daunting from here, but when you're on the track actually it is quite steep, and serious races all wheelie off the top of the mountain down Paddock Straight, and you can see up the top there is where I was in the previous video. There. Looking out and coming the other way. You can see bends into the mountain, and just the other side, in front of that green and white barrier, is the main straight of them going up the other way, and going up to the woodlands to Park Straight, and up the top end of the circuit, which we can't see. Just there you can see the control tower for the main straight, and there's a white flag there. This is the start and finish line on the main straight. This building down here is the medical centre and a small hospital for injuries, which is normally manned by local ambulance and St John ambulance staff. This is the return to the paddock. You always hear the engines labouring up the mountain, and then they can wind up going down the Paddock Straight there up towards All Bends. A familiar looking motor and a very unfamiliar chassis. What a fascinating bike. Obviously pressed steel monocoque type chassis. I wonder how he gets that out. I think, yeah, unbolts the down tubes and the bottom tubes, all unbolts, engine comes out the front. Very interesting, very modern. Right, we're in an area now just up from the Cadwell venue office, just to the side of the main lower paddock, and there's an area here for bikes to be parked up, those bikes that have been ridden here today. So we're going on that, have a quick look through, and first of all start off with T150 home market, followed by another T150, obviously in US trim. I'm just going to have a look at the year on that. 74-ish. So this is when, oh yeah, it's got disc at the front, look. And this is by the time they started offering the American styling as standard. In the sort of 1970-71, when the US had already made it clear they didn't like the standard sort of bread box bin styling as per this one, then BSA Triumph did produce what they called a beauty kit, tank, silencers and one or two other bits and pieces to bring a more sort of traditional Triumph look to the Trident, but then within a short space of time offered it as standard from the factory with a new machine. And this is one what they ended up with a little later on after the disc had been added. So yeah, quite a nice looking bike. Sort of a mid-run T150, 73, 74, but with a very modern upside down fork twin disc front end. So a pretty serious touring machine, as can be seen by the luggage with it. So that's a very well used bike, and uprated shocks on the back too. So definitely made for touring. Got to get out of the way, hang on a sec. Nice T140 from 1978-ish. So you can see restyled badges, pretty tank, US tank, UK bars, with this front end. But yeah, nice looking bike. And then just beyond it, just over here, is, now that's a later one. That's because of the side panels on that. That's a Harris, I think. So let's just have a look. Yeah, so that's a much later Harris Bonneville with the different side panels, but an American one, which you don't see too many of. Harris bought the rights to continue manufacture of the T140 from Dave Bloor after he bought the Triumph name. So Harris carried on from 83 until I think 87, 88. He chose to manufacture the pre-electric start Bonnie, so the Harris Bonnevilles are not electric start, whereas obviously the late Meriden ones were. Right, and here we go, look. A nice pair of sort of power set A65. One's a Lightning and one's a Thunderbolt. They're in 72 colours. Look very standard, but with 71 side panel transfers. I'll just have a quick look at the numbers and bring it back so we'll see what month they were manufactured. So this Lightning is manufactured July 71, and the Thunderbolt there is June 71, same month as my 750 A70. So I think that's probably just pre-official 72 range. And in fact, if you look at the two of them together now, the one behind, the Thunderbolt, is a darker red. So they're not the same colour, but the red definitely is a 72 Lightning colour. So anyway, probably not original colours, but two well looked after bikes nevertheless, probably from the same stable or so. They've got the same pair of non-original silencers on them. These are sort of Gold Star shape, I think. But anyway, two well ridden, well looked after, well presented, pretty standard bikes. Good to see them here. Here we are, nice electric start, Commando, interstate, large tank. Supposed to be the Mark III with the vernier adjustments on the isoelastics. Front disc has been upgraded a little, and it's got the earlier 750p shooter silence on it rather than the annular discharges. But other than that, very standard, very well kept, nice looking bike, great tourer. Always fancied Commandos, but I've never owned one and never ridden one. T160, UK spec, very standard. The only thing I can see there is the horn on it, and the airbox, and actually the carbs. Well, they look like bin carbs, possibly, not animals, but other than that, very standard. I believe the guy, the owner's here, I believe it's one owner. Got the bigger UK tank, but I thought it used to have a white stripe down the centre. This one hasn't. Some original stickers made in England on by Norton Triumph on the back, so all original.
70 miles a hour.
Finally, another T160, upgraded front end and shocks. Lovely little fly screen on it. Looks like a resprayed tank, slightly brighter colour, beautiful colour on it. And Mikuni carbs, I believe. And that looks like a different electric, probably uprated starter on it, and also the Thunderbird 3 side panel transfers. Looks to me as though it might be an 850 kit on it too. So the cubes have been upped a bit on it. Triumph were going to produce a T180 Trident, which was going to be, I think, a 900 Trident, which they were going to call the Thunderbird 3. But ended up as the T160 750 Trident. But they made the side panel transfers, so yeah, I used to have a set of Thunderbird 3 side panel transfers. Right, just a quick view of the collection area. This is just after lunch, and there's a demonstration lap on at the moment of very noisy bikes, which sounds beautiful, but ones that are exceed the noise limit, so they're not hanging out on the track day. So collection point's empty at the moment, but shortly they'll make an announcement for the next track session, and this riders will start congregating, so we'll stay here because we're in the shade under the trees. The track's just the other side of the Paddock office just there, so you might see them just in between the ambulance and the fence there. You might see them fly by in a minute. But that's the Paddock straight there, just before Hall Bends. There they come. There they go, 3 limbs just the other side there. And here comes the Honda Fall. Oh my God, that's loud. Right, back in a minute when they start to congregate for the next session. Right, here we are, start of the next session. It's looking quite busy. This is either the fast or the expert class. Some fast ones in there. Depends how old the head is that's on it. Staggering them out so that they're spaced out around the track. Of course, it's not officially racing sessions, but you know what it's like when you get out there on the track. Anyway, it's a beautiful day. Wish I had the bike here, the Rocket 3, to go around the track, but in the end I couldn't get organised in time. Off they go. There we go, so Paddock Canteen just on the left there, and bar. Right, we'll go for another wander, see what's up in the paddock before we call it a day.
Yeah. What did you see? The whole handle.
There we go, folks. Triumph Avenger 500, complete with A-twin exhaust on the original. There it goes.
Excellent. Anybody who hates it.
There's an interesting bike. Flying Merkel, it's the Harley Sportster engine. It failed noise rates, but they let him out at lunchtime for a parade. It sounds fantastic. And he's about to fire it up to go back up to his pitch. So I'll bring it back when it's running. Sounds beautiful.
It's good, mate, and I'm quite...
Okay, there we are, a bit more footage. So Flying Merkel were a company in the early 1900s, went bust pretty early. This is a replica with a late Sportster engine. And hence the disc front brake on girder forks, etc, etc. But anyway, very nice bike. And also in the same stable, we've got a nice Triton over there, and Cal Rayborn Harley Racer. Very nice. Last one from the same stable, another Harley Racer, and again very good. It's been out once today, but Ryder got a bit of a scare on it, and so he had a couple of pints at lunchtime, and I don't blame him. Just reminds me, actually, one anecdote is up until about a couple of years ago, I had a Buell XB 9SX 950. I bought it not quite new, but only with as new, with only delivery miles on it, and I was keeping it for a while as a bit of an investment, and ultimately I decided to sell it to buy the Rocket 3. And I still do like the Buells. I like the Harley motor in a proper frame, and the great styling on the Buell. But just as I was getting interested in them, then Eric Buell ceased to manufacture them in 2010, and I got one of the last ones via a devious route. They're beginning to increase in price now, and they're very scarce. Actually, would have been nice to ride it. But anyway, I got the Rocket 3, sold it for the Rocket 3, and that's where we are now. So yeah, no regrets really. The Rocket 3 is going well. Okay, just have another quick wander around now, and then we'll probably hit the road. And it seems strange probably ending a tour of Beezumph with a Harley Davidson. Maybe I'll go and find a nice triple to finish off, and then we'll end it there. There we go, a nice bike to end it with. Bog standard Rocket 3 Mark 1. As far as I can tell, everything on that bike is absolutely standard. Actually just seen maybe rear shocks, not quite. Don't think they had variable springs and a chrome top, not sure, I'll have to check that. Otherwise, silencers, side panels, tank, seat, lights, oil cooler trims, front brake, clock binnacle, etc. All original. There we go. That sums up Beezumph. Nice bite. A great day out. Thanks everyone for watching, and this weekend we'll be back in the garage doing a bit more, and probably do a little bit of a follow-up on Founders Day and some of the questions that we left open then regarding colours and trophy trail stroke adventurer tanks. Cheers everyone, see you ever again soon. Bye.